This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, thank you, Venkat. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, so before starting this today's concepts, let's try to recollect it, what we were understanding, and then we'll continue. Is what we were understanding yesterday? Yeah, launching that virtual machine, right? So this Linux-based virtual machine, how do we launch it? Yeah, what are the main software that we need to install it?
Virtual box, Vagrant,
yeah,
GitHub,
Vagrant,
GitLab.
yeah, Git Bash, the Git Bash software, that is the third software. And then that you are doing this one more thing like Vagrant box using this as well as the Vagrant. There are the four things that is required as an input. But boxes we are not doing that explicitly downloading and installing. But yes, you can use it Vagrant box. Yeah, go to the vagrantapp.com and identify that the box that is open to our CentOS, which one is required. Then we can download that by using Vagrant init. Vagrant init command that is going to help you. Okay, good. Have you done the cert activity? How many have you done?
I have some issues, sir. Initially, I got fat error. After that, I installed that supporting files also. But installing directory, I got confused. Directory not open. After the class, I can.
Okay, sure. How many have you done? So can you confirm this in the WhatsApp group? Done. Anyone tried it? Yeah, do the practice on the same day itself. Don't postpone it to the next day. You need to do this on the same day. That is recommended. So maybe they will get it some other activities, but give the priority to the.
Since that is Visual C++, it is compulsory. Is it compulsory?
Okay, so first let me know which operating system are you using that?
Windows 10.
Windows 10? Are you sure?
Home. Windows 11 Home.
Okay, so that we use it only Windows 10. 10 or 11, that's fine, but Windows 7 or 8 is not recommended.
10 or 11.
Okay, so Windows 10 is recommended at least. Everyone make sure about it. Windows 10, you have the OS. Yeah, that is one point. Second point?
When I am trying to install, the error came. This one is C++.
Yeah, .NET framework. So.
2019, we used to do it.
Okay, we will check it out. Anyone facing this any issues? Online team? We'll see this. We'll see that. Yeah, online team, what about your status? Can you just ping this? If it is today, just type that today, or if it is already done, just go ahead done. Can you give me that status quickly? How many of you done, or how many of you still required to perform it? Online team, can you hear me now? Is it audible to everyone? I don't see there's any response. If you are facing that issues, just let me know. Or use that the WhatsApp group. Okay, received an error while running the command vagrant up. Okay. Yeah, so whenever you have the issues, just please ping this in the WhatsApp group. Maybe that's we can refer it and we'll come back in the WhatsApp group itself. So don't wait until that's next day class. Yes, if you're not able to do that, yes, next day class which we'll discuss, that's not an issue. If you're facing that, they immediately just post it in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, so good. But that is a mandatory launching the EC2 instance. Make sure that by end of the day that has been configured everywhere. Okay, let's continue that today the concepts. That is which we should know the directory structure of the Linux. Now we know that how do we launch the virtual machine. But as we know that from yes, childhood onwards, like we try to use it a Windows-based system, right? Everyone knows about the Windows or not? I'm expecting that everyone should know this Windows. So if you say this, I don't know the Windows. Windows is nothing but advanced level that is not required, administration level, but at least user level. So working with the directories, working with that, copying the files, or moving the files. So understanding that concept is required. Yeah, if you're facing this any issues on the vagrant or those sections, yes, use it as WhatsApp group and share the screenshot with the screenshot. Yes, that is recommended. Then that's going to helpful for us to understand it what exactly the error. Good. So the launching of the virtual machine is not enough, but what we need to do this is we need to go for directory structure of the Linux. Yes, before going to work with the commands, let's try to understand that directory structure. So what is the directory structure that we have on the Windows? Let me know the first Windows, what you know it. On the Windows, how that would be. We have the, go to my PC, right? PC. And within the PC, we have the C drive, D drive, E drive. Yeah, the drives are available. But these are drives like which are, which are the partitions, right? You have the something 500 GB hard disk, and that 500 GB hard disk, it is a partition. I could try to understand that. If you go to this like file system and in our Windows, so we have the concept of the desktop. So you can access the desktop files, or we have like this PC option. And if I go to this PC option, and here we have the C drive, D drive, E drive, these kind of the partitions. We say that these are all partitions. And the C drive, how much storage it is having? Around 200 GB, and my like a D drive which is having that around 150 GB, and the E drive which is having 150 GB. And if you like to manage the files, yes, or if you like to install the softwares, we use the C drive, installing the softwares, right? Any software you are installing by default way that will be installed, that is into C drive. And the D drive, E drive, yes, like about all materials or movies files, or like if you have any content, that's we can manage it in the D drive and E drive. So this is the file system which we have on the Windows. What about the Linux system? Yeah, let's move into that understanding the Linux directory structure. Because as we know that the Linux is the basic concept for us as a DevOps engineer. So let's move into that understanding. What are the common directories that we have with the Linux? So in our Windows, we say that this PC, right? This PC is a root directory. It is kind of a root directory which contains the C drive, D drive, E drive. The same way in our Linux operating system, so what is the top level directory? That is root, we will call it. The top level directory, this is the, we'll call it as, which shows about that forward slash, and we call this as a root. So root, the top of the file system hierarchy. But as we are understanding that whenever we install the softwares, yes, it is going to add there some binaries, and it is going to add there some libraries, or it is going to add it some users from directory. So what is the directory system which we have? This is in the root is bin folder, so which contains all the binaries and executable programs. So So if you are running any command within the Linux system, if you are running any command in within the Linux system, that is one of the binary file. Where the binary files are located is that is root. We call this with this forward slash. We call it as a root bin folder, which contains all the binaries and other executable programs. The next one is etc folder. What is the etc? It contains all the configuration files of the Linux. Just remember that all these folders and files. But don't worry today itself. But yes, just try to get the technologies of it. So root, that is a top level directory. Like how do we have this on the Windows system? That is this PC. And this one is bin folder. Within the root folder, we have a bin that contains all the executable programs. Yes, if you're running any command, that command is one binary file. Where it is by default, it is located. That is in the bin folder. And etc is another folder. So if you are working with the networks, if you are working with the disk related, or if you are working with that package related or repositories related, yes, any configuration files if you would like to access it, the system related, where that is located is that is in the etc folder slash etc that contains the system configuration files. Yeah, another directory that is home. That is the user home directories. What about the user home directory? Suppose in our Windows system, so in the Windows, if you just stop with that, we have that user section in the C drive, right? If I go to the C drive and where do we get it all the users information of the system? In the users folder. If I go to the users, here list of all the users we can find it. Like that, in the Linux operating system, what are the users we are going to create it? Where that user's home directory is located is that is in slash home directory. This is about our user home directories. Are you following this, everyone? Yeah, the root,
Yes.
that is the top level directory. Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, root, that is the top of the file system hierarchy. And a bin folder, which contains all the executable programs. Whenever you see this, or wherever you see, simple. Bin, if you see that, it contains the executable files. But which executables? That's we have user level executables, system level executables. That is a different story. Will come back. But bin folder, if you see, binaries. etc folder on the Linux system that contains the configuration files. And then slash home, which contains user home directories. If you're creating any user, yes, that user home directory by default in the slash home. In our Windows, we have in the C drive users folder. And another important folder which we should know, that is opt folder. So this is, if you are installing any third-party software, the Windows, how do we use the C drive? In the Linux system, use the opt. So in the C Windows, we use the C drive to install the third party. On the any software right? Is it audible now? Let me switch that network. Can you confirm this now? So is it audible or not? Okay, fine, good. Thank you. Yeah, good. There was some network issue. Okay, so as we are trying to understand that, yes, the root folder, binaries folder, configuration files, user home directories, and third-party softwares if you like to install, that is Opto folder, and then temporary folder. So where the temporary, the files which you can keep it, and whenever yes, the cleared on the reboot time. So if you like to clear it, you can clear those files as well. Yeah, so that is a /tmp. And another directory which authors is user related programs, that is /user. So user related programs. And runtime files, especially like the log files, if you are going to checking that. So the /var/logs is the directory. This contains mostly the runtime files. Yeah, there are some important directories, just remember that, but don't worry today itself to try to recollecting that all the things. But there are all the things that we are going to work it one by one. But just know that before going to, working with the Linux system, these points that is required. Yeah, so can you ping us the quickly in which file we can, in which directory will be having this all the binaries? That is which directory? /bin, not .bin, that is /bin folder. Okay, good. In which directory we go for the installing the third-party softwares on the Linux system? Yes, that is Opto folder. Yes, good. And in which directory we'll be having all the user home directories? User home directories. That is /home, which contains all the users related directories. But where do we keep it as temporary files? /tmp. What is like our, yeah, good, tmp. And what is like the root directory?
Is the highest of hierarchy.
How do we represent it?
Slash.
Forward slash that represents about, yes, that top level directory of the Linux system. Where the runtime files will be having? In which directory? That is, if you are going to verify the logs files. So where will be? /var. Yes, good. Yeah, so good. So that's just keep this high level the directory structure, because first we need to get familiar with that the directory structures. Yes, now let's if we conclude that. So this root is the top level folder, all the binaries, configuration files, user home directory, and Opto folder, the third party softwares where we can install it, and temporary directory, so where all the temporary files we can keep it, and user shared files, and runtime files, that is a /. There are some important top level directories which we should know. But how it is organizing this, if we just try to understand it. Suppose I need to access this music folder, or file, whatever it is. I need to access this. What is the path of this? Can anyone give me the path of this music file or music directory?
/home/rns.
Yeah, /home/rns/music. Yes, good. So if you would like to access that user libraries, what is the directory? So libraries of the user. So lib folder here /user/lib. Okay, good. So this is about our directory structure, understanding that. Yeah, some more like indirectly, so the system administration level, if you just talk it, some more important directories, that is a /boot. So while the booting time, that is whenever we are launching the system, so boot process is going to use it all these files, that is in the slash boot, boot processing files. Files needed to boot the operating system. And the runtime processes information, running process. So that's all the processes information, that's where that will be having this is slash proc, PROC. And on the Windows system, what is the default user? So what is the default user who is like as administrator on the Windows system? Who is the super user? Yeah, in Windows. In Windows, who is the super user? Yeah, so who is, I mean, suppose whenever we install the Windows operating system, we get to the default one user account. Default one user account. What is that user account? Administrator user account. Administrator is the user account. But on the Linux operating system, what is the default root user account? I mean, yeah, I just already mentioned. What is it? The user account that we are going to get it on the Linux operating system as a super user is root user. So the root user. But that root user home directory where this will be having this is that is slash root, the home directory for the root account. Yeah, so he is a super user, root user is a super user, and that super user related the home directory is a different, that is a slash root. Yeah, boot process files, process related files, root to home directory, that is root user home directory, and system administration binaries, that is SPIN. Not required, just note here all these points. Just keep this in mind, and you can just refer the PPT whenever as you are referring.
That also, sir. How to get PPTs.
Yeah, I'll share this today.
So it's so much difficult. Like, I have tried more than 2 hours.
Okay.
When you are saying, we understood, but when you are practicing, we don't know.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll share this the PPT's location. That's link, which you can get. Yeah, system administration binaries. Yeah, some like system related administration activities if you would like to perform it. That is SPIN. And system libraries, that's a lib folder. And as we have those 32-bit processor files and the 64-bit processor files, here also slash lib and slash lib 64. Suppose in our Windows also we have the 32-bit processor files and 64-bit processor files, right? Where do you have this on the Windows system? Suppose if I go to the C drive, and here you see there's the program files, which shows about only the program files and program files with the x86-64. Is it visible? Yeah, my directory. Okay. So program files which you can see and program files x86. So what is the difference between why we have the two program files directories here? One is 64-bit process related program files. That means if you install that package which belongs to the 64-bit operating system, that will be added to the program files. But 32-bit process related the softwares if you have installed, then it is going to add it to the program files x86. So this is the directory structure. Yeah, like this, the same way on the Linux operating system also we have the slash lib 64. That is 32-bit and 64-bit operating system libraries. Yeah, these are some important directories which we should know it on the directory structure point of view. And we have some user-related programs and user-related libraries. Yes, slash user and user-related any softwares you are installing that is user local folder and user-related system administration binaries. So variable data, that is a varlog as we are talking, that is the runtime files. Yeah, these are all like a comprehensive directories which we should understand it. But let me show this quickly, launching the system and going ahead. and working with this. Yes, yesterday we are using that's Vagrant machine, right? So this is about our workspace, and we have the Vagrant file here. And let me quickly launch the system, and we'll observe that this file system. Yeah, the main important directory, just remember that on the Linux system: root, opt folder, temporary directories, etc folder, bin folder, then which we are understanding some more, slash user specific libraries and binaries, slash sbin we have, slash bin we have. But what is the bin and sbin? Bin is normal binaries, normal user level binaries, but sbin is system administrator binaries. But finally you will have that the binaries for that is executable files. Okay, system has been started, and let's log into the system. The Vagrant SSH. Okay, everyone get ready with the systems that is recommended. If you are facing this any issues, immediately just post in the WhatsApp group. Don't get delayed that. So if you are not able to see the PPTs, yes, PPTs, please share the PPTs link. Just one message. Maybe that's going to helpful. Whenever I see that, definitely I will respond to that. Okay, so we just logged into that Linux box as yesterday we were doing that. Now let's try to view that list of all the files. How do you see that list of all the files, and what is the parent directory which you are trying to understand is? How do we the list of all the files is ls command, which you can use it ls-l, but all these commands I will share it the videos just line by line. Go ahead with that, because each and every command explaining in the class, that is Linux point of view, we just refer that some the videos, the mostly content on the videos as well as, but I'll try to give that high level some important points in the class. Yeah, so ls, I mean, use it ls-l or ll also, that is a long list. This also command which you can use it, or ll-l, and so what we have specified this is root path. The root path, what it is going to give that, yes, it is going to list all the files and folders which we have it in the root file system. But what are the files and folders here? If you just observe that, the bin as a binaries, and even it is mapped to the user bin also, the user level binaries also, and same time you see that sbin also, bin and sbin. So that is a system level binaries and a normal binaries. This is a user level binaries, and this is user level system level binaries. And you see this opt folder. What is that opt? Yeah, optional. There is a third party software to install it. Yes, third party software to install it. We use it. Yes. etc. System configuration files, and home directory. User home directories. And the libraries, you see that 36-bit and 64-bit architecture related libraries. Yes. And opt folder already we discussed. The proc, what is the proc contains? Processes information, runtime process information. If you like to access it, that is a proc. What is the root folder?
Home directory of the root account. For the root account.
Root user home account. Yes. Root user home account. This is a root user home directory. Remaining all other users home directory by default that is in the home folder, but root user, he is a super user home directory, that is a slash root. And yes, finally if you just observe that here, the var log, yeah, so that is a runtime files you can access to here, or user share binaries, you can see that here in the user section. Now this is about overall high level directory structure. So you are clear, right, everyone? So just type this the clear. Yeah, as of now it's clear. Good. Use the chart window and be active, everyone. So that would be helpful for me and as well as you. So you are following this, that's I can understand. Okay, so now let's move into that. Sometimes what we do that is some services whenever we are installing like something Tomcat, let's assume Tomcat or Maven, we are installing is nothing but. So these are all third-party softwares which we install it. And what is the directory, standard directory that we'll be having this if we just try to understand it. Yeah, any software whenever we are talking that just remember that application directory structure. So that contains its own binaries. So suppose this is here we are talking there's some software, the crash plan, or like the Tomcat or the Maven. Any software whenever you install it. So suppose you have installed in the user local, user specific one. So crash plan is a software or a Tomcat is a software. That software related binaries, that is the starting, stopping scripts of the software you will be having in that software home directory, there is a bin folder. And configuration files where you will be having. This is crash plan specific related configuration files. So /etc, that is entire system related the configuration files. But if you see this etc in some other directories also. But don't think that etc which is at a root level and etc within that specific software, this specific software related configuration files. Are you getting the points of this? Yeah, crash plan is a software if you just think it of it. That software related binaries and its related configuration files, its related libraries and its specific log files, that is in the separated directory. But what we are talking about it again, like in the Unix file system also we are trying to understand /bin, /etc, /lib/var log. That is about system related binaries, system related libraries, system related the configuration files and system related log files. But here in this specific, that application which you are talking that application specific libraries, application specific binaries or application specific log files and configuration files. So that is system level and this is software level or application level. Yeah, but wherever you see the bin or etc or lib or log, if you see this at a root level, that is system level. But if you see this in some other directories, that is specific to that application or software. That is one understanding which is required. Because you see that in so many places about the bin folder libraries, but what is this bin folder and what about the bin folder? So don't get the confusion with that. So wherever you are accessing that, if it is a root level, that is system related, or if it is within that some specific other folder, that folder specific binaries, that application specific libraries or the binaries or the configuration files or the log files. Yeah, another type of the directory structure which we usually is, like as we are talking that opt folder, third party softwares you are installing. The user local bin we can install it, or we can go for that opt folder. Yeah, opt folder, that opt folder related binaries, etcs, libraries and the logs. Yes, this is also directory structure which we can manage it. But here as per that, yes, this is third party software which we can install it, and that is user specific, the software which we can say. What is the difference between the opt folder installing the third party softwares or installing the third party software in something user local directory? What is the difference between these two? So we are trying to understand here application directory structure in the user local and as well as opt. What is the difference between installing the third party software in the opt folder or user local bin folder, user local folder? Opt is for multiple users. Suppose X user is having that account in the system and Y user is also having that account in the system. Both users, they need to use that software. X user and Y user, both users, they need to use this software. Then what is the recommended directory to install the packages is, that is opt. This is not a user scope. This is about system scope. Any user who are going to log into the system, they can access this. Simple. But if I use the user local pin, this is that specific to the user scope, which we can say that. Yeah, so that's about, before going to understand commands. Yes, first knowing that what are the important directories are available in the Linux system. Whenever you log into that, these are all the directories you will find it that. Yeah, applications that are not part of the base OS can be installed in either user local bin or opt. Yeah, any queries, questions on this, please? Are you clear about this directory structure? Okay, good. Yeah, thanks to everyone. Okay, once we know that a directory structure on the Windows, what you do that? What are the main operations we perform it on the Windows? Normally, regularly, what you do that? Anyone, can you tell me that? We know the C drive, D drive, E drive, and all the drives. Okay, fine. Then, what are the regular activities you do on the Windows?
Saving the file and accessing the file,
Okay.
removing the file.
Saving the files, copying the files, or moving the files, or editing the files.
Removing the ones.
Okay, removing the files. Okay, good. Yeah, some daily activities is the performing the file operations or folder operations. And not only that, we should know some system information also, right? So suppose I'm asking us which Windows operating system you are using. You are using the Windows 10 Home Edition or Windows 11 Home Edition or Windows 7 or a 7, 8. We should know about. So that means, like, before going to work with that, some more commands on the files and folders, let's try to understand that some system related important commands. So knowing about the system information. Yeah, the basic Linux commands, if we just refer that, what are the things that's which we should know the is. Yeah, ls command. So to view that list of all the directories and contents. Yeah, if you're already good with that, the Linux and basic these commands, you can just log off, no issues. But today especially, so which will be having the basic commands, the cp commands, ls commands. Yes, if you know already the Linux familiarity, then I will share that one forum. In that forum, you can just refer that the videos on the lab page. But if you're okay, you can continue. That's not an issue. But there are the basic things which we need to come first. Yeah, so how do we do that list of all the files and folders? So what is the command? ls command. Or how do we switch that? I'm not going to show that here. I will share it, the one lab guide and a video, which you need to refer it, and how do we execute these commands and how do we that output, you need to just refer from the video. But let me conclude it. What are the commands that we have? Yeah, ls, to view that the files and the folders in the current directory, we can see ls command. Or if you would like to switch this one directory to another directory, yeah, the cd command changes the current directory. Suppose in our Windows, how do you do that? On the Windows, if I would like to move this one directory to another directory, we are doing that this way, right? Accessing this. That means I have changed the directory. This one we say that change it to the directory. But what is the command on the Linux to change the directory is, that is cd command. And how do I know that on the Windows systems in which current directory I'm in, that is? Now you can see this in the Explorer. Okay, this is my current directory, right? Yeah, this is in the Windows Explorer. We can see this. In which directory you are in that presently. This is about our present working directory. But on the Linux system, how do I know that in which directory you are in? That is, what is the command for it is pwd command. Present working directory. How do we use it on the Linux system to know that in which directory? Whenever you are browsing or changing the directories, you should know it. The current working directory. That is a pwd command. So how do we view the file's content? Yeah, how do we view the file content is? So suppose on the Windows, how do we view the file content? Yeah, on the Windows, how do you view the file content? We open the notepad, right? If you just double click that, then the file which will be open in either notepad, or if it is a document, then Word document. If it is Excel sheet, Excel file, right? On the basis of the type of extension, the content will be opened. Content. But what is the command that we have on the Linux system to view the file content is, that is cat command. Cat and the file name, if you give it, without worrying about that extension, there is no extension dependency on the Linux system. So the cat, and you can just use it the file name which displays that the file content. Next command which we have, this is echo command. So which displays arguments to the screen. Displaying arguments to the screen. Echo, it is kind of the print command, print option. And if you like to view the manual of the command on the Linux, suppose you are running that all these commands, but you would like to know that the tutorial of that command. Tutorial, it is going to give the complete details of the command. So then you can use it man and command name. Man pwd, if you give it, pwd complete manual, you will get it. Or man cat command, or man the xyz command which you are going to use that. Yeah, displays that's online manual. And how do we exit the shell or about your current session? Yesterday also we were doing that, exiting from the vagrant, the terminal. How do we exit it is, that is exit command. If we just conclude it, how do we the list of all the directories and files? ls command. How do you change that one directory to another directory? cd command. How do you know that the current directory? pwd command. How do we the file content? That is cat command. How do we display the strings or some messages to the screen? That is terminal. That is echo command. It is kind of the print. In our programming language we say print command. And how do you get it? The manual of that each and every command, that is a man. And how do we exit the current shell or session? That is exit. And how do we clear the screen? Yesterday we were talking that you can use it the control L, or we can use it clear command. Directly you can run it the clear command. Yeah, there are the basic commands. So that before going to work with the Linux, which we should know, there's some basic commands. Are you clear on these basic commands? Can you quickly list it? What are the basic commands which you got it? Can you list it, or can you say this? What are the commands you got it? ls is listing the files. pwd, that is the current working directory. cd. Okay.
Man used for all manually.
Yeah.
And echo command is argument of display.
Yes. Yeah, ls, cd, pwd, cat, echo, manual, exit. Yeah, so there are some the basic commands, minimum, which we should know that we are going to access the system. But on the Windows daily, we are doing all these commands. Right? If you open the file and if you close it, that is you are exiting that file session. Or if you are going to double click the file, is nothing but you are viewing the file content. That is a cat command on the Linux system. Or if you are browsing that folders, is nothing but that you are doing the CD options. Yeah, CD, the knowing about the current working directory. But echo normally we don't try to use it, right? Printing message. We don't see that, that is the only option directly. But remaining almost all the commands, whatever we are talking that here, that's we do that on the Linux also regularly. Okay, let's move into that some system related information related commands, system information commands. So what are the different system related information which is required? Yeah, this is very, very important. Suppose if you'd like to know that's complete Linux system information, that is a which bit architecture that you are using. So is it enterprise Linux or which version of this Linux? So you name -a command which is going to help you with that. So this command is uname -a. Yes, so now we are using the Linux machine CentOS 8. That is the host name of this machine, which is showing that. And kernel version, which we are using that 4.18. So kernel is one important component, right? As we are talking that, which is interacting with the backend hardware resources. That kernel version, how do you get it is? That is a uname -a command, and here you can see that the 4.18. And this is enterprise Linux 8, and which is supporting that x86 64-bit architecture. This is a 64-bit architecture system, and this is the current date and time, and this is the UTC time zone. So which time zone it is using? UTC time zone, and yeah, x86 64 is the bit processor which is showing. A complete Linux information, that is a kernel version, how do you know it, or is it Linux operating system or not, the which operating system we are using, the enterprise Linux 7 or 8 or 9, the versions to know it, or which architecture is that, what is the date and time, which time zone, all that information you can get it. You name hyphen. Which one?
Time zone. Wednesday, December 22.
This is yeah, the package updated time. That is a binary which has been released. This binary which has been released on the time. Okay, yeah, correct. So this is what you are asking. That is a release time. In the 2021, they have released this distribution. So enterprise Linux 8, the development box which are using. Yeah, is it clear about this? So uname -a is one of the important command which helps about it. And the next one is uname -r. What is that uname -r? It displays especially the kernel release information. So already we got it in the uname -a. A is for that all the information, but only kernel information. If you like to get it, you can use it uname -r option. And only bit processor information, if you'd like to know it, you can run all these commands in the lab whenever you are practicing. So uname -a is the main command to know that, or to get to the complete system information. And uname -r, uname -i, that is a bit processor information. And how do you know that OS version? So it is given that in the uname -a also EL8, right? EL8, Enterprise Linux 8. But how do you know that the which version of the OS it is installed is? Yes, you can use it. This command. What is a cat command? To view the file content. Simple. So cat. But what is the file that contains the OS information is the etc folder. So etc we have so many release files. If you just browse it, that's cat *etc release /etc *release. So it is going to give that the release file name, but file name that could be any name, but file extension or like postfix that should be release. That is the meaning. So just run this command to know that OS version. What is this asterisk? We'll talk it later. Yeah, so now it is giving that CentOS Linux release 8.5. And yeah, name of this one is CentOS Linux and version is 8. Yeah, the 8, and the release 8.5. But do we have any other information which is required, which is helping? Yeah, this is RHL based operating system. What is that RHL? Red Hat Enterprise Linux. That is RPM, RPM based repository. Yeah, so this is CentOS 8. Finally, what is the version which we can understand is 8.5 version. Yeah, so how do we get it that the installed OS information is, that is cat etc asterisk release. And another command which we have this is how long the system has been running. From the how long the system has been running is, that is uptime is another command. Uptime. Uptime. So to know that how long the system has been running, if you just run that uptime command, yeah, it was up. It's 5 a.m. This is as per the EST time zone, and it is running from the 25 minutes. And one user has been logged in. So currently we have one user logged in, right? So I have logged into this system. So one user has been logged in. And it is giving the load average also. What is the load average is? Last 1 minute, last 5 minutes, and last 15 minutes. So it is going to give that system load average information also. In the uptime, we can get it. How many users are logged into the system? How long the system has been up and running? And as well as load average also we can get it. The average load on the system. Yes, if the more the request it is receiving or more process it is running, the load on the system is required to verify that. So during the performance related time, so this peak hours time, we need to keep on check that the load on the system. But how do we check it that the load on the system is? Uptime is a command. But it is having 3 fields, right? 3 fields. What is the first interval? 1 minute. Last 1 minute load. Next one is 5 minutes load. Third one is 15 minutes the load. Yes, this is one more important command, uptime. And another command which we have this is, how do you know that the host name of the system? How do you know that? Host name of the system. Yeah, so there's a host name command. That is the logical name of the system, that is the CentOS 8. But IP addresses, what is the IP address, will come back later. So what is the host name, what is the IP address, deep into that in the networks. But just understand, how do we the host name of the system? That is command with host name. Is it clear, everyone? So are you following these commands? And how to get it? That's IP address of the system is host name space hyphen I. Host name is to know that logical name of the system. And host name space hyphen I, that is going to display the IP address of the host name. Okay. So are you following, everyone? So the comments are you good? see this yes option. What about others?
So these comments case sensitive means
That is case sensitive. So you should use it only small letters.
here last one is post name.
Yeah, that is also we have the small letter caps letter which you can use. Yeah, so let me show that that's command. So if you'd like to get that IP address of the system, which you can use it, hostname hyphen I. So this is a system IP address, but we have other options also. We'll come back. Okay, so there are some important commands about the knowing about the system information. So the uname commands, release a file viewing the file content. So which contains the various information, that is a release of file, that is a cat, that is located in the etc folder. And how do you know that system, the uptime or the number of users logged in or what is the load average, that is uptime command, and host name of the system or IP address of the system. Yeah, this is all some system related information. Now let's move into the some more also. So when it was lastly rebooted the system, sometimes we should know it, the system reboot information, but how do you know that when the system has been rebooted? That is last reboot command. These commands directly you can run it and you can check it. Let me show that here as well as. So that is last reboot, when it was lastly restarted. As the reboot was done, the system, that's a boot, when it was Wednesday, May, today's date, 3rd, and 0443. This is the UTC time zone. That means 5.5 hours were the fast forward. So that is 5:43 is nothing but now. This was launched at 4:43. So that is approximately like around in our IST time zone 9, 10:15 around we were starting the system. Understood, that is running. Yeah, when it was lastly rebooted, that statistics. So all the statistics you can get it that. So you can try that restarting one more time and just run it. Then you will see the when it was lastly rebooted. Yeah, last reboot is one of the important command on the system information. And another command is date. How do you know that the system current date and time? Directly straightforward. And how do you know that month's calendar, year's calendar? And in the chart window, how do we have that who are all the users on the online? Same way. So maybe the system which you are launched it, suppose in the real time, maybe the developers are going to use it, a testing team are going to use it, or DB administrators are going to use it. But who are all the users are logged into the current system? Current logged in users information, who is online? That is a who is a command. Who is the command for that? Displaying online users information. Yeah, last reboot. And yes, you can use a date command. If this is about current date and time, now this time is 5:15. This is as per the UTC time zone. And calendar, yes, the current date and the time, and in the calendar format it is showing that yes, the May 2023 and this is 3rd. Or if you would like to go to the particular year, yes, calendar of 2022. Yes, if you type that, you will get it the calendar of 2022. So the cal is a command, but current month it shows, but you can use it, the year, and then is expecting that's 1, 2, legal month value. Okay, let me give that 323. So it is asking us this way. Yeah, the calendar, month, and then year. So this way we need to give it like the first month and year. So first particular month and particular year calendar, if you need it, yes, you can use it this format as well. So calendar, date, and who is a command that is getting about it, current login users information. A current vagrant user we have logged in, and that it shows about it for all online now. Are you good following this all these commands? Yeah, so last report time rebooted, date command, calendar command, who am I? Yes, that is to know the current user information. Who is the difference between the who and who am I? Who am I is I am asking us what is my ID. So who am I? I'm the vagrant user. I have logged in it. But who is a command that is going to list it all other users also who are currently logged into the system. Yeah, the difference between the who and who am I. Are you clear about that? All these comments, everyone? Use a chart window and can you confirm that? Everyone is following that? Good. Ajay, Tejaswini, Pavani. Yeah, so good. Knowing about it, all this confirmation. Then what is such like a next concept which we have this is a directory navigation. So how do you go ahead to do this directory navigation? So the main command what do we have this is directory navigation is nothing but changing the directories, right? Changing that one directory to another directory or going backward directory or forward directory. Yes. So let me conclude about it. The directory navigation, some important options in the CD. So command is a CD, but CDs they have the multiple options. So can be accessed by the name or shortcut? Yes. So whenever we are observing this in some of the directories, we see that dot. So what is the dot representation in that Linux system is? That is a current directory. If I specify the CD space dot, what is the meaning of it? That is, I mean that I'm switching to the current directory itself. There is no meaning at all, but like if you just understand it. So dot represents current directory. Dot represents that is parent directory. That is parent directory. That means you are moving to that. Suppose if I use a CD dot, what is my current directory is home vagrant. That is my user home directory. Slash home. What does it contain? The slash home users. Which user we have logged in? Vagrant user. Vagrant user. What is the home directory? Slash home slash vagrant. Your current directory is about user home directory by default. But if I use it, cd dot, what is the meaning of that? I'm in the same directory, right? Dot represents current directory. But if I use it a dot dot, now has it been changed or not? Yes, it has been changed, and if you verify there's a PWD, now we are in the home, not in the vagrant. So it is moved to that parent directory. What is the parent directory for the vagrant? So for this vagrant, parent directory is a home directory. Now we are in the home directory. So cd dot dot represents move to that parent directory. Suppose if I use it two dots this way, that means two backwards forward. I mean two directories forward, right? But what is a parent directory? No. What is a top level directory? Root. Yeah. So now I mean I'm switching this one directory dot dot is nothing but I'm moving to that root. After the root we don't have any parent directory, right? So what is the top level directory we can move into the parent directory is root itself. That's why we are in the current directory is root directory. Are you clear about that? Dot and dot dot. Yeah, dot for the current directory, that means this directory, pwd, and parent directory is dot dot. And if I use it a cd hyphen, that is going to change to the previous directory. What was my previous directory? To that previous directory, it is switching that cd space hyphen. And this cd space dot dot. What is the meaning of that dot dot is? As we are understanding that to go up one level of the current directory. To go up one level of the current directory. And if I use it only cd command, cd option. No, cd only. This one. Now my current directory is root, but if I use it only cd, what is my current directory now? User home directory. So by default, cd is going to map into that user home directory. If I just enter the cd, it is switching to that user home directory. That is the default, which is defined by the OS. So if I just run the cd, that is user home directory, going to that user home directory. And if you would like to switch to the particular directory, then you can use it cd path of the current directory, that is /etc or etc or bin folder or opt folder or user local bin folder or temporary folder, whatever you have. Cd root, that is / and then directory name. And this is about directory navigation, some important points in the cd options. Yeah, run it, all these commands. Yeah, today what you need to do is, anyway, the system is not launched, right? So today go ahead and make sure that the system is ready to that everyone. And try to practice it until these commands. And I will share that the forum also, which you need to refer some the videos for these basic commands. So ls command, especially next ls is having so many options. So I'm not going to tell it all the options in the class. You need to refer it from the videos. The Linux is yes, which you need to spend some more time. But AWS and the DevOps will come back the more. But yes, Linux, whenever you are learning, the focus that's referring to the videos and try to practice that. Yeah, so that's all from my side for today. So which I may have that small concepts.